Of Yokohama, how about that? The flickers of the smiles on the England faces, All Black reaction. Good afternoon, Austin Healy and Ben Kay.
Just special theatre, isn't it? This place, electric now. England players taking off their tracksuits nice and slowly, just trying to take a bit of the passion and the storm out of those All Blacks that have just pumped themselves up into a frenzy.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It's different, isn't it? You can feel it's different. You can feel everybody around the stadium, a level of expectation. You look for your opposite number, you look to catch his eye. Show the respect, but just give him a nod that if he brings down your channel, you're going to give it to him.
Well, this is the England team that's just been facing down the All Blacks and one of Scott Robertson's team. A week on from the drama of Murrayfield. Like England, they have their leader back as well. Scott Barrett recovered from the leg injury against Ireland. Simon Parker throwing his weight around. The late change, Josh Lord for the injured, Fabian Holland. Bit of tinkering amongst the backs. Caleb Clark concussed. Lester Fayenga-Anuku shifts onto the left wing. Billy Proctor picked to partner Quinn Tupaia in midfield. Talked almost as much about the replacements as we have of the starters this week. Not just England who are stacked. Guy Pepper, player of the match in the Premiership final here back in the summer, and a Lions captain, setting himself up against Beauden Barrett and these All Blacks. Had a lot of rain in the capital yesterday, but it's dry today. Referee is from Italy. Andrea Piardi's been getting some big games of late. The Lions at the MCG, New Zealand against Australia at Auckland, Argentina against the Springboks here. Luke Ramos, Gianluca Niecki are the assistants. Sometimes life is best when it's just black and white.
Ready to go, guys?
England and New Zealand in one of the games of the year. Beauden Barrett with the first kick, Alex Mitchell with the first catch and the second kick, and New Zealand will have a line out, a couple of strides inside their own half.
Yeah, it's a reasonable start, isn't it, for Mitchell? Good clearing kick. I think England will be really wary. Last time they played, there was a lot of crossfield kicks from Barrett. They made a lot of ground. Fayenga-Anuku on this left wing. Those big guys, that battle in the air between him and Roebuck could actually decide the match.
See England's line out creeping there, trying to close the gap a little bit, put a bit of pressure on. The All Blacks walking away from them, keeping that space.
Josh Lord's catch, originally due to start on the bench, but Fabian Holland's late withdrawal means he's starting alongside Scott Barrett, the returning captain. Leroy Carter goes in to keep this ball going.
Just trying to narrow England's defence up there, zigzagging one side to the other down that 15-metre channel. As soon as England get tight, the call will come and they'll spin into the backfield.
Cam Roygod does that to Peter Lackey. No way through. That England back row today of Pepper, Underhill and Earl will be busy on their toes. Jordan, here's Leicester Fainga and Nuku. Now the tackle from Stewart dislodged the ball and England have it.
That was a beast of a hit.
Use the 9. Let's go.
Earl.
Use it. Stay behind. Advantage over.
Jordan came forwards. He was beaten to it by Tom Roebuck. That aerial battle today, as ever, increasingly will be so important to how this game's shaped.
Lost.
It's been such a physical start to this match. Barrett. That horrible gash against Ireland that needed 12 stitches in Chicago. And then Freddie Stewart, who dislocated his finger.
Come in, wide, keep coming, guys.
A couple of weeks ago. He's fit and doing things like that. England right now bossing the air above Twickenham.
Good start from Freddie Stewart, the big tackle to dislodge the ball, and now he's set this attack on the way with that take.
Lawrence over the 10-metre line. England starting in sprightly fashion. Manny Feo-Oboso. Thumped up towards the 22. George Ford for England. Dingwall, Stewart. First run for Tom Roebuck. 3 All Blacks to try to weave around. England reset, 10 metres out. Underhill. Ford, and there's the kick. Not what he wanted. And a precise England start, rather undone by that. But it's all that we would have hoped for.
He's overdone the kick, hasn't he? Carter's read it, didn't execute it, but what a catch this is from Stewart in the air. Takes his own kick, a little bit short. Watch his eyes, gets in between 3 guys. See that area there? That's an example of actually what's been happening so far. 3 kicks. The All Blacks putting 5 or 6 people around that area, remembering that Pollock pickup against Australia, making sure they get those secondary bounces if there are any. But that guy in the air is, well, epic.
Well, Freddie Stewart wasn't flawless against Australia under the high ball. What's George Ford got on his mind here? That's gone miles. And it bamboozled Barrett. And he needed Carter to come in and sweep things up. Very early London pressure on these All Blacks.
I mentioned the spiral bomb. For those of you at home, usually an up and under will go end over end, but if you kick it up spiral, as the ball goes up, it cuts through the air in a straight line, but as it comes back down, the spiral gets bigger and bigger, and it starts swirling around. It's almost impossible to read in the air. You cannot afford to give George Ford time to set up that spiral kick.
Ford again. Dingwall just setting up the shunt from Ben Earl. Ford again. Feo-Oboso closed down quickly by Fainga Anuku.
On the wrong side.
Coles.
Underhill's done so well with that clear out under real pressure.
Ford nearly through, held on to by Lord.
Play on.
New Zealand's defence under a lot of pressure, but being very disciplined at the moment, holding their line. Dingwall, he went to kick, found Underhill, and then the ball to Lawrence. Not of the requisite quality, but All Black defence punctured for the first time.
Well, Billy Proctor's saved the day here. Really nice play. Dingwall's so good and comfortable at the line. Gets the ball back on the inside by that swinging arm as he completes the tackle from Proctor. If this goes to to Lawrence, Lawrence is walking in. Well, it's not even, doesn't even get a hand on. He just can't get his fingers underneath the ball and lift it up, but good pressure on the tackle.
The pace of England's play is reminiscent of the first 2 games, Fiji and Australia. For the first 20 minutes, they were exceptional, but they didn't quite take enough points. They punched themselves out, then 20 minutes to 40 minutes. They had a little bit of lull in energy. They'll be desperate to get some points on the board with this sort of play. I mean, the pace is exceptionally high. speed of ruck, ball out.
All Blacks will be looking at their front row here. Can they ease the pressure? Big scrum penalty would be a huge momentum shift.
Taken by Lakai. He makes good ground under a bit of pressure. 22-year-old quickly getting used to starting test matches. This is fourth in a row. Clearing job taken on by the left boot of Cam Roygard, who is becoming increasingly comfortable, influential in that 9 shirt that carries so much weight and history. Sid going, David Kirk, Marshall, Justin Marshall who's here, Aaron Smith. Right now it's Cam Roygard.
I remember seeing my first England game here, Bashop at 9. He threw a reverse pass out the back of his hand. Sort of inspired me actually quite a bit. Try things that never quite worked for me.
That's a great steal.
That's the threat that Josh Lord offers at the line-out. Missing Holland's particular threat, but Lord at 6'8" will bring his own. Lakai.
Good attitude, White.
Barrett. A little bit of pressure on England's fullback, who goes on a run. It looks like Billy Proctor's hurt himself. Meantime, England with the All Blacks a man down. Feu Aboso takes on Barrett. Barrett does well just to hold him up for half a second and buy some time.
Turnover's good.
Barrett's making his way back slowly into the defensive line, and New Zealand have it anyway.
You heard Mitchell on the ref mic saying he's over the top, but who's over the top from an England perspective? He's allowed to come over if everyone's on the floor. Great carry from Feu Aboso. We know about his strength in contact, gets that extra leg drive, but here everyone goes past. The ball's exposed.
Okay, Budden.
Off the feet, England maybe. You can see that player who puts his foot over the ball is lying on the floor. Referee happy, and Surveyor so good at reacting and checking with the referee. If the referee thinks he's legal, he'll stay in there.
That's what's amazing about that back row, especially when Satiti's on there as well. Last week, those two.
Yeah, I'm very happy over there.
If Scotland made a break and got in behind, they were more often than not turned over, at least slowed down dramatically by the pace into the ruck by those two guys. So they've got to keep Surveyor off the ball if they want a chance of scoring tries.
Wallace Satiti, part of a very handy-looking New Zealand replacement bench. Again, Lord highest.
Sorry, mate.
Roygard, kick that has a lot of height, putting pressure on Stewart. He taps it back. Quinn Tupaia chasing hard. Well, needed to be alert. And now England,
Hands on the ground,
with their heels on their own doorstep, and New Zealand have a penalty. Actually, no, it's England ball. New Zealand just being warned to stay on side.
Ben Earl did so well there. The pace to turn, which we know he's got, but just managed to get back to his feet long enough for the cavalry to arrive under huge pressure from Tupaia.
Barrett gave some thought to accelerating away with that. He had Leroy Carter, but decided otherwise.
That kick is so good, Nick. Can't tell you how difficult that skill is. From the base to get the angle right and the ball to just go out far enough so they can't take the quick one. Mitchell's done his side a big favour there with that clearing kick.
Fletcher Newell right at the tail, just checking what the call was. It didn't involve him in the end. Tupaia helped glue New Zealand's midfield together recently. A fabulous game against the Wallabies at the back end of the Rugby Championship. And Lakai. Jordan. Those smart feet of his. Surveyor. Oh, taken up by Simon Parker. Picked a start ahead of Wallace Satiti today. Parker's a big old boulder.
Six away. There we go.
Referee telling Guy Pepper to leave it, but as long as he doesn't touch the ball, he can stay in there and keep fighting. Just slow the All Blacks down a little bit.
Proctor. There's Ethan de Groot. Roygaard to Paya. Took a little bit more time than he had, but it wasn't long-lasting damage. And Lakai again, who's getting a lot of ball time. Behind de Groot to Barrett. Fainga Anuku. Proctor under some pressure from Mitchell. Seeks an escape route, finds it. Woof. Very nearly charged down by Proctor, and New Zealand have the ball to play with. Barrett would be the 50-22.
No, it was passed back over, Nick.
It was, yeah.
It was passed back over.
Quick confirmation. He's taking it to 50, not 50-22.
Yeah, so it's England ball.
Yeah, you don't get the 50-22 if the pass is inside the half. Look, only just with his right foot. Super close. Well, it comes back through. There's not a phase in between,
no.
so.
Right, here we go.
It's a good passage of play there, though, for England defensively. Those frontline runners of the All Blacks are not quite drawing the front line, so you can see England streaming through. It's very loose in the backfield. It's got to be an area they can keep focusing on.
Stay there. Okay.
It's very loose at the minute, the All Blacks play.
The second one, England have lost. The line out, really good pressure from the All Blacks.
Just a knock on by 4 on the ground.
And that was Barrett who got up there.
Just a knock on by White.
In the eye line of Maro Itoje.
Scramble ball. No.
There's a glint in his eye when he started to talk about the All Blacks this week.
Really nice from Barrett. He stays initially behind Coles, and then as soon as he sees the flight of the ball, he appears from the blind spot of Coles. Just puts that big left paw right in the landing zone, gets a hand to it, steals it back for his team.
No points, but it's been lively.
It's different, Nick. When you come to Twickenham and you're playing the All Blacks, you can sense it's different. Everybody's got a level of expectation. It feels just slightly more special. A little bit like when you play in South Africa now, like when you play in Ireland. Certain games have just elevated themselves from other matches. And this is certainly one of them.
The threat from England has been about winning their collisions. They've been really good defensively at shot-stopping the All Blacks, but you can still feel that threat of a line break from the All Blacks. A lovely bit of feet, not necessarily running through you, but bouncing around past you.
Emma Raducanu, who was part of England's line-out this week, you might have seen it down at Pennyhill Park. I'm never sure she was a serious option to play today, but anyway, she was there.
Not tall enough. Interesting stat, though, Nick, when you look at the back lines. This All Black back line has scored 117 tries versus 38 from England. There's threats everywhere with them.
Roygaard finds Tapia.
That's all, release, guys, release.
So the All Blacks targeting George Ford's channel just to try and get a bit of that momentum. Allow the forwards to come around the corner, run onto the ball rather than having to be static.
De Groot took it in. Lord helped clear some space for Roygaard to go again, and Barrett, oh this is nice. Fainga Anuku, hauled to the floor by Stewart. Roygaard gave it some air to Lakai. All Blacks looking threatening for the first time. Barrett, instead it's Proctor, drives for the line. New Zealand with the advantage. Closest they've been. Fainga Anuka, and Leicester Fainga Anuka, the man who has Twickenham as a middle name, scores at Twickenham. Leicester, Ofaki, Wales, Twickenham. Fainga Anuku is a try scorer here.
You just see the play here. Look at Stewart on the outside. He steps in. That gives them the extra 10 metres in on the wide channel. They've got to stay man-on-man in that scenario. Don't bite in. And then they just go through the phases. Great footwork to get another extra phase and coming to the short side. It's a nice little tap tackle, actually, but spotted by the referee. Still a great pass, isn't it?
After we give the try.
Just nice to get them closer to that line, that little decoy line from Bowden Barrett. Just forced England to be a little bit slower off the line than they would have wanted to, and then the power of Fainga Anuka to 1 metre out, just extend that body, get himself over the line.
That's great, thank you.
Oh, no. However, New Zealand 5-0.
There's 3 occasions now, Nick, that this right-hand side of the field, someone's bit in. On this occasion, Stewart does really well to hold up Proctor right by the line. But then once you go through this phase, you've just got to get lower on him, haven't you? Who is it that slides over the top? Is it Jamie George?
There, I think.
George goes over the top.
Both a little bit high, but what he does so well is almost stop, set himself, knowing that the contact's going to come, and then he extends himself over the line, almost like he's squatting in the gym, just to dot that ball on the grass.
And the restart. Straight out. Sure, you know Lester Faianga Anuku's story by now, but his dad was playing for Tonga in the 1999 World Cup at Welford Road in Leicester. Beat Italy. The following day his son was born. Thought he'd call him Leicester. Wales was part of that schedule as well, so Wales is in there, and Twickenham as well. That's the explanation.
He was born now, where it'd be called Allianz.
I'll go on the other side. Okay,
Don't think we're obliged to change his name, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's a wonderful story, and now he's scored here.
You are inside, yes, because he's the line.
And after that bright English start, New Zealand have come back well and rattled them.
Let's go. Yeah, it's fine. No worries.
Two front rows, Finn Baxter, Jamie George, Joe Hayes against Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor and Fletcher Newell. He's become a regular starter at tight head this year for New Zealand. Wrestling away with young Finn Baxter on the other side. Roygaard. How about that?
You just watch Jordan behind the scrum. He just fakes to go right. It just gives Roygaard just an extra half a second to get boot to ball.
Scott Robertson's enjoyed his week here down by the Thames. Talk of him enjoying the local pubs over the last couple of days.
Such bright rugby that clearly you probably think from the coach's reaction worked on the training field, knowing that teams are going to overchase.
Ball won by Barrett. There's the other Barrett. Oh, and Jordan on a wonderful line, scything through, still going, wasn't tackled. Roygaard, fabulous position this for New Zealand. Lakai not hanging around with it. Cody Taylor on his own, he's got to control the bouncing ball. Brilliant. The little pocket jumper trot with the step of a centre, and New Zealand with their second try.
A bright play. Roygaard gives them the platform. That man, watch Faye Waboso's eyes. He's looking back in at what's in front of him. He doesn't spot Jordan's already on the swerve. The fact that he was at full tilt meant that he couldn't recover. England overfold, thinking the All Blacks are going to go the same way, and then they hold and play out the back. That's a lovely, lovely ball over the top from Tupea. And then as soon as that man Taylor's got it, you think, with all England's players racing to get over and mark him, he's just got to bide his time, wrong foot them, step them, and he's going to have the power to go through Mitchell.
And New Zealand have scored 2 tries in 3 minutes. And this one is converted. They lead by 12 points to 0.
They do, Nick, and they've been good, the All Blacks, but you don't put it on a plate for them by giving them the wide channels on 2 occasions. On this occasion, what else can you do? Do you bite in? Do you make the tackles? No, you stay on your feet. You try and back off, make the All Blacks make a pass. Mitchell's got no chance there. He's got 30 metres to cover at full tilt. He's never going to make that tackle. England have to sort out their wide defence because it's cost them 12 points. And if they carry on like this, it'll cost them the game.
Ball gathered from the restart by a man who was central to all of that, Quinn Tupaea.
Good.
Stewart.
By White in the air. Advantage over.
George Ford. He stays where he is because he suspects this ball might be coming back at him. Barrett. Earl.
Inside the 50. Use it.
Baxter.
Oh yeah,
Finn Baxter.
Oh yeah. Okay, use it.
Ford. England rattled. How do they respond?
Play on.
Stewart again, and he finds Coles. England works so hard on creating that ring around the catcher. The crumb squad picking up whatever might fall off the plate. That time it was Coles. Joe Hayes. England busily resetting. He's been given a couple of slaps around the face. Earl takes on Roygard and co.
Use it.
England have got to start tracking those ball carriers through the gaps in the hope that Earl can get an offload there.
Tom Roebuck having to work hard to get there, and then was careful not to charge into Will Jordan on the way down.
Yeah, far too long on the kick from Mitchell. That mark was always going to be called from Jordan. Had too much time on the ball.
Chance to go here. Spiral again.
Stewart again, looking skyward, got there early.
Play or nothing.
Picked up by Pepper. Stewart once more, Roebuck chasing again. It's a kick that doesn't make Roebuck the favourite.
Maybe England just guilty there of just trying to
England 15,
score too quickly. You know, you can go through a couple of phases. First time you've been back down in the 22 for a long time.
Freddie Stewart coming off. The electronic mouth guard must have picked up an impact of significance. So Marcus Smith on for the head injury assessment. Smith will happily park himself at fullback. New Zealand off that defensive line out.
Okay, ball is there. Use it.
Simon Parker levering it away for Roygard. Roebuck backpedaling. Another great kick from Cam Roygard.
Particularly with England not having a good day at the line out so far. Last three.
They'll want to get some phases here, won't they? 5% possession last 10 minutes. Tells its own story on the scoreboard, but England got to find a foothold now. Put some of their own stamp on this game. They've lost it again.
The line-out's a problem. New Zealand are getting high into the branches. Third line-out that they've lost.
Third different New Zealand player to steal it as well. Saw Lord win the first one. Barrett won the second. This one's Sarvea.
Yeah, play advantage.
Went forwards off Fainga Anuku, so England with the advantage, and advantage gone, and he finds Smith. England just accelerating a little bit up towards the 10-metre line. Proctor charged out. Faye Waboso, awful lot of work to do. What a run from Waboso.
Behind.
Barrett and co scrambling back. Coles for England.
Hold up.
He's been turtled.
Proctor, brilliant job here.
Just on Marcus Smith, watch his support line, how he has to control his feet so he doesn't overrun. There's a trailing player on the inside of Earl. It's Coles, and he just blocks the line that Smith wanted to take, but he just stays in there, and then they've got a 4-on-3 on the outside, back on the inside. Underhill's had a great start to this game, gets the offload away. You just wonder if this had gone behind Coles here, England would have attracted all those black-shirted defenders, and there would have been acres of space out wide. He backs himself, but that's brilliant from Roygard to fall backwards, turn him turtle.
Fainga Anuku hands the ball just ahead of Roebuck, but it is Roebuck and England who can build from here. Mitchell. Coles, who has been prominent over the last 60 seconds or so. Fourth time England have taken the ball into New Zealand's 22. High time, they think, to bring some points away from it. Dingwall straightens things up. Look at the number of black shirts over the ball, though.
You lost the first attempt.
England with a player down.
Coles is down, I think, Nick.
I'm really sorry, guys, to stop you, but it's in the way.
It's interesting. Sorry, Nick. Interesting to see, actually. Oh, it's Pepper, isn't it, that's down?
So we've come England.
Let's hope he's okay. But a lot of the rucks now from the All Blacks, they've got a 12-point lead. They're taking a few more chances. Surveyor's lying on the ball a little bit longer. You're seeing Roygaard getting into the ruck and stepping through, just pushing the boundaries of the laws ever so much.
Number 6, England on the line.
So many former players saying this week, Ben, former England players, as Scott Robertson puffs out his cheeks and gets out of his seat, saying that if you're going to beat New Zealand, you've got to score first. You've got to be ahead. It's one thing beating them, it's another thing coming from behind to beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. They are very, very good, as Austin said, particularly when they build that more than one score lead. But having said that, we saw it last week. England won't be fazed by it. Scotland managed to come right back into the game, having been gifted that, or feeling like they'd gifted them a 17-point lead. But I think the crucial thing for England is just that accuracy. New Zealand have been down a couple of times and come away from the red zone with 2 scores. England have been down, they've created opportunities and have not been able to take it. Just that accuracy of the offloading. They're getting their hands free, they're getting the half breaks and people on the shoulder supporting, but they've just got to make sure that when they get those opportunities, they stick something on the scoreboard to show for it.
So interesting to watch this New Zealand side, a little bit like England. You feel like they're in transition. They're probably not, in all honesty, as scary as some of those All Black sides that we've talked about already in this opening quarter, Austin, but signs, as always, that in a couple of years' time at the World Cup, they're going to be right up there where they need to be.
Yeah, they are, but they've still got huge experience and leaders out there, haven't they? Surveyor and Barrett. And I know what you're saying. If you look down their team sheet, what you pick? 2, 3 world-class players, if you include Mackenzie on the bench as an world-class impact player. You look down the England side, probably the same. 2, maybe 3 world-class players. But when your side starts to win, you end up looking like the South African squad that's got 20 world-class players in their 23. So that's where both sides aspire to be. And there's still a big step. And I say probably England, France, Ireland, New Zealand and Argentina are just that stage below South Africa at the minute.
I think it's that gelling. You know, there's so much individual talent coming through this New Zealand side, but it's when those talented players start to bring the best out of those around him. You know, think of when Marnonu broke onto the scene. He got better and better and better every year, and a lot of that was how he adapted his game to bring the best out of those around him.
So what of this for England? Marcus Smith standing behind the scrum. Fraser Dingwall to the right, George Ford to the left. Roebuck and Faye Weboso providing the width, right and left. They go left, and it is Ford, and it's Lawrence! All muscle and drive and determination. And England, as they really had to, score next.
Well, England need to get the ball in Ollie Lawrence's hand much more. He has the power to be able to make things happen. He's sort of overrun that. He has to stop. And maybe that stop just caused a moment of hesitation in the defender's eyes. But he gets that left-handed fend out, gets the forearm into the crease of the neck, and then as he cuts through, just use that little bit of footwork to burst through Barrett and slide over the line.
Yeah, totally agree. The contrast, New Zealand are giving their big ball players out wide one-on-one opportunities. That's the first time we've had a one-on-one. Carter arguably just picks the wrong shoulder to hit with. And there's a brilliant bounce out from Lawrence. This is a big kick as well, Nick.
Oh, no. It's a 5-point score, however. So emotional last weekend, Ollie Lawrence, as he reflected on that double quick return from an Achilles injury in the Six Nations and scoring tries once more.
Just saw that moment of hesitation from Carter here as he comes forward and thinks, has he overrun it? Are they going to get in a bit of a muddle? And am I going to have to go in and support on a tackle on Ford? And Ollie Lawrence, so much power.
Barrett picking out Earl as the catcher. That will be by design. New Zealand will know how big a carrier Earl is with the ball. Neutralise him early on, Ben.
Absolutely, if you can get him tackled in the 22, his ability to pick and go off the resulting ruck, had it gone somewhere else, is completely negated, and England will just kick the ball back to the All Blacks. That was the plan. It's worked perfectly for them. Mitchell might have wanted a little bit more distance. All Blacks have prime attacking real estate on the England 10. Ben Earl with 9 carries so far.
Well, line-out's been a disaster for England so far, hasn't it? Both sides of the ball. Conceding field position, possession, losing those starter plays. I don't know what you do in that scenario, Ben, because bad kick, he's missed it. It's a proper shin boner. Does he try and hit the banana here and just catch it on the instep of his foot?
Yeah, really happy.
He certainly won't see it that way, but you know, there's almost something reassuring about that
You didn't see any touch. Okay.
around the country here and in New Zealand on those muddy junior pitches, that we can still get kicks like this at Twickenham. It's not exclusive to the old Rubber Duckians 15 or whoever you might play for.
50p for.
Just England's second put in here.
Boy!
Mitchell drop the ball onto the foot of George, and then England can try and keep that shape. And he's being told to use it.
Ford seeking out his Sale Sharks club mate Tom Roebuck. Roebuck to Smith, who's still on for Freddie Stewart as he goes through the HIA procedure. 3 minutes to go on the HIA as Earl took it forwards. Now Baxter. Angle towards the left, towards Faye Waboso, who did well to gather it, but Roygaard's on his way. Opportunity here for New Zealand. Ford eventually brings him down.
England saved by Faye Waboso's pace, just blocked the passing lane, otherwise England could have been in huge trouble.
Surveyor chasing the ball. Pepper, Smith, Marcus Smith.
Good decision, that. He finds himself with 4 All Blacks directly in front of him. Chooses not to try and beat them with his footwork and take the conservative approach, but also the safe approach. You run into 4 guys in that part of the field, it's almost certain turnover.
And we're going to see more of Marcus Smith than we initially expected, because Freddie Stewart has failed his head injury assessment. Marcus Smith on for good. England, by the way, do have Elliot Daly available again after the broken arm playing for the Lions. He was in the warm-up. George Furbank playing for Northampton in the Prem Cup today.
Good to see Furbank back, isn't it, after that long injury.
England get their first traction at the line-out. Cole stealing that at the back.
Earl again. He's been one of England's busiest. Mitchell.
He's back by Black. Play on. Knock on now by White.
Not quite sticking for England, Ben, in that area as they make the half break. Those passes not finding the target.
There's just been a couple of times where players got his hands free and not been able to deliver the pass.
Here's Carter. Made a real impression in his early days as an All Black. Oh, how about that from Carter? Proctor roaring up in support, but Leroy Carter doing brilliantly up until the point he felt he had to hold on.
Oh, Ollie Lawrence, the kick is superb. On the hoop, doesn't break stride, Carter. There's the little ball.
Holding on live.
There's a break around the fringes where there's loads of space. As you said, this little chip kick is sublime, isn't it? He beats Roebuck round the outside for pace, chips, doesn't break stride, takes it. Really good tackle here as well, and a stopping tackle from Marcus Smith. I just wouldn't mind seeing the breakdown again. It looked to me like Ollie Lawrence may have knocked it on in the breakdown, but I think he got away with it.
Well, I'm sure that Billy Proctor was screaming his head off, but either Leroy Carter couldn't hear him or he just couldn't angle the ball to him, because if he had, England would have been in big trouble.
No, he hasn't got away with it.
We've come back for that, Oz.
TMO says he's seen a knock-on on the breakdown here as Lawrence first attacks the ball. Yeah.
Thank you, Marius. Good call.
It's close, that, actually, isn't it? It's not as evident as I thought.
And the thank you from Andrea Piani goes to Marius van der Vesthuizen, our South African TMO in the car park in the truck. So an attacking platform for this New Zealand scrum. Scott Barrett and Josh Lord will be throwing their weight into this. Simon Parker, Peter Lakai, Marty Surveyor.
Good boys. Good boys. Take it down, good boys. Yes, sure.
So quick reset, guys. First scrum really well. Now it's a bit of a mess, okay? What? You want to move?
You know, when you're playing against this All Black backline, Nick, there's threats everywhere, obviously, but the key guy to always look at is Jordan. His ability to time the point to hit the line.
Okay. So
There's very few players in the world that have ever been as good as him. There he is, right at the bottom. Last man, look, he's standing good 20 metres behind Barrett, but I can almost assure you if they play a wider play, it will be with him hitting a pocket somewhere.
Well, he scored as many tries as the great Jeff Wilson these days, who was scorching up and down touchlines in the 90s. Jordan and Wilson on 44 now. Scored at Murrayfield a week ago. He's one of the threats here. Tupai picks out the fullback, Faenga Anuku. England's white defenders come across. Faenga Anuku, however, intent on world domination. He very nearly got there on his own. New Zealand seeking a third, but England with the counter up. Neutralised the threat for the time being. Earl took it on.
Quiet place. Use it.
Austin called it. Will Jordan on that outside arc. Beat Roebuck into that wide channel as he did on the other side of the field for the try.
Tapia. New Zealand missed him when he wasn't available. Barrett, Savea. Nobody carried the ball more, beaten more defenders this year than Ardi Savea.
Yeah, he's running away.
Lakai. Wallace Satiti amongst the replacements, as we've already mentioned.
The ball, guys, please.
De Groot. Barrett looking for a little bit of New Zealand acceleration, maybe a little bit of magic. Jordan to De Groot.
It's the only black player over there.
Afraid to bide their time, play this possession game in the middle third of the field and then find that break.
Hope that the likes of Proctor
But is there on this side?
can create moments like that. Lord. Tapia once more. Leroy Carter remains a threat on the far right. England conceding the penalty off their feet.
It's coming from the side.
It's 5 line breaks from the All Blacks, all of them out wide, Nick. This is too easy. Look, it's just a straight miss too. Out into the 15 channel. Schoolboy, it's what you used to do when you were 16. Defensively, when they get in at half-time, they need to make some changes. They need to say, we're too tight, they've spotted it, we're getting broken, and then, you know what the All Blacks will do? They'll come straight through the middle. So, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. That is some carry, though, isn't it?
Thanks.
I think he does well to get his hands onto in the end. Does well to stay alive, to be honest.
Another penalty that...
Once again, yeah.
Stop, England! Stop! Man, stop!
That's meters that the All Blacks have given away, but Jordan and Barrett look to reclaim a few here. 5 minutes to half-time. All Black tries from Lester Faenga, Anuku and Cody Taylor within 3 minutes of each other. Ollie Lawrence replying shortly afterwards for England. Newell. Savea takes a step backwards. Tapia steps in front of him. Barrett. It's a tough chase for Proctor. Smith just outside the 22. What's into hopeful green space, but it's All Black ball. Jordan. Faenga Anuku. Taylor takes on a Toje. And England have it. Mitchell. Bowden Barrett stepping backwards. Mitchell chasing. Oh, and that's worked out about as well as it could have done from an English point of view. Barrett finding decent ground, but it'll be an England throw.
Yeah, there's a lot of fatigue out there, but you get that opportunity. It's a good kick from Mitchell. Barrett's treading water. He's going back at 50% pace. He got a blitz onto him there.
Seeing defensively, Austin's talked about it with England. They're definitely Byron McGuigan got that hard press on the outside player coming in, trying to chop and then backing themselves to be able to cover out to the try line, to the touchline. Sorry.
Jamie George managing to evade New Zealand's defensive jumpers just then. Earl. How industrious has he been in this first half? Atoje taking on De Groot. Lawrence, England's try scorer. Pepper lays it back. Underhill. And then the drop goal from Ford. George the drop. At it again.
I think it's a good example of how to find your way back into the game. Start going a lot tighter, start hitting the fringes with your big ball carriers, recycle, and then take the points. We've seen him do this all year for Bath. I don't think there's many guys in the game that are better than that drop goal at the minute.
And it's part of the strategy, isn't it? Steve Borthwick, if you look back at his coaching career, both club and country, a lot of his biggest victories have contained drop goals. He's happy to use it. George Ford happy to implement that philosophy.
And England slowly pulling their way back into this contest. 2 minutes to half-time. Restart taken by Northampton's Alex Coles, one of his best performances in an England shirt against Fiji here last weekend. Not sure if he'd have started today, Ben, if Ollie Chesham had been fit, if he wasn't struggling with a foot injury. We won't see Chesham again this Quilter Nations series. Roebuck, unmolested until he came to ground where Proctor was waiting for him. Ford, England ending the first half strongly. Smith. And Faye Wibosa with a little bit of ground to move into. Stopped by Lord. Underhill. Ford. Hayes. England have very quickly set up a handy position. Dingwall. Baxter. Ford. Marcus Smith. On early for the injured Freddie Stewart. Twickenham wanting the penalty. Andrea Piardi not interested. Coles. Ford again. Off it goes. Through it goes. If you need a bloke to pay off your mortgage via the drop goal, there's your man.
Well, we talked about that strategy, but watch Marcus Smith here. He loves playing off Fraser Dingwall. He reads him probably slightly quicker than everyone else. Very like Northampton used Dingwall. And their fullback cutting into the line. And that Marcus Smith's made a big, big difference since he's came on. And that guy's sitting in the pocket, starting to have a field day. And that might just affect how New Zealand start defending. They might get a little bit narrower, might start chasing him down, which could open up opportunities for England in the wider channels.
Our time's up at the end of a busy first 40. And England will think that'll do. Started strongly, but then the All Blacks did All Black things. Leicester Fainga Anuku with the first try. 3 minutes later, Cody Taylor for New Zealand. They led by 12 points to 0. Ollie Lawrence on the board for the first time for England, and then George Ford and his 2 drop goals in a couple of minutes. Fascinatingly poised at half-time at the Allianz Stadium. England 11, New Zealand 12. I think it's over 50 years since England came from behind at half-time to beat New Zealand. That is the challenge facing them over the next 40 minutes. For New Zealand, they would be 3/4 of the way towards a Northern Hemisphere Grand Slam, with Wales in Cardiff left to come next Saturday. George Ford, whose drop goals just changed the complexion of the contest a little towards half-time, starts the clock ticking at the beginning of the second half.
Use that.
balance, isn't it? It's been so good, Roygaard, getting the ball back to the halfway every time.
First line out, next since half-time. What have they changed? Hopefully it's winning the ball.
That'll be a start from an English point of view. Coles does win it to his Northampton teammate Mitchell, and then forward to another St Dingwall. And England have manoeuvred themselves to the middle of the pitch, beyond Lawrence to Marcus Smith, who, if you're late arriving, was on early for Freddie Stewart, who suffered a head injury.
There's a knock on here.
England.
Sorry, Nick, I think that's actually a penalty to England. Because Fayenga Anuku, he gets over the ball, Mitchell, and he's on the ground, he then plays the ball. This is a clear penalty for me.
You tried to
gets a bit loose at the ruck,
puts
the ball down, loses it. Fayenga Anuku goes for the ball. Good tackle by Mitchell. Gets his hands over the ball.
Yeah.
He plays it on the ground. It's a penalty to England,
yes, of course.
Hang on.
Time off.
I think Marius van der Westhuizen has
so we just need to
thrown his tuppence worth in.
On the ground, my New Zealand player, you said.
Andrea Piani, Italian referee. What has Marius seen?
Playing the ball on the floor, you can see the tattoos on the arm give away whose hand that is.
Playing the ball out of the tackle.
That's why the ball squirts out of that ruck. Marcus Smith incensed. TMO picks up on that.
Okay, camera back to me.
It's just a penalty, isn't it, from Cody Taylor?
Yes, back to me. It's a yellow card, this is the play for me.
It's going to be a yellow card, I think.
On the ground.
Wow.
Play the ball.
Cody Taylor.
Number 2.
Drew alongside Dane Coles as New Zealand's highest scoring, try-scoring hooker in the first half. He's gone away to celebrate that record for 10 minutes here.
Well, if you're watching down in New Zealand, you're going to think that is particularly harsh. I'm watching here at the Allianz, and I think it's a bit tough because...
There's no line break on particularly, is there?
Not really. I think it's that. I think if they see that in real time, it's just a penalty. And it's a harsh one, that. It's a good kick as well.
Well, it was called in by Marius van der Westhuizen, so he had a decent view. Anyway, net result. New Zealand, a man down. Their hooker down. And England with the first opportunity to do some digging at the start of this second half in New Zealand's 22. What are you seeing, Ben?
Seeing New Zealand just trying to fake that they're marking the back in the middle, try and force England to go to the front as they do.
Lawrence. Baxter offered himself in. Instead it was Earl, got through so much work. Underhill, England that close to the lead. Mitchell might go on his own. Alex Mitchell.
Try.
Andrea Piani desperately looking for the view that says it is a try. He's not there. No one in an English shirt celebrating. Just yet anyway. Atoje with the latest drive. Underhill. Now England are ahead. And this has been a comeback of gumption and heart. 12-0 down early on. Now they're ahead.
Well, Austin asked, what are England going to change in the second half? The decoy runners, first Baxter in behind. Just a bit of deception. Next one, decoy runner. Goes behind Pepper to Underhill. That gets them close to the line. Mitchell nearly gets there, might have even got there. But the ball comes back. They kept their patience. And eventually, New Zealand ran out of defenders, ran out of pace off the line. And England get over, take the lead for the first time.
It's what Steve Borthwick will want to see, isn't it? And everybody in the stadium. Just real high-paced ball carrying in close, winning the collisions, rocking them backwards. We saw a little glimpse of it in the last 10 minutes of the first half. England were getting a lot more ground within 5-10 metres of the ruck. Don't go wide, you don't have to go wide. You can beat the All Blacks in different ways, and at the minute, it looks like by going tighter to the ruck, it's benefiting England.
Just saw that little step from Pepper, forced the guard and bodyguards to step in. That gave the opportunity for the pass and the one-on-one for Underhill. But we saw the try that Coles didn't score when you just wondered if it had gone behind him to the next man. Would that have been the try-scoring pass? England do 2 in succession there, and they get over the line.
Both sides have made changes. Cortez Ratimer on at scrum half for Cam Roygaard in the All Blacks, and England have changed their hooker. A limping Jamie George replaced by Luke Cowan-Dickey. Loose ball gathered in by Manny Faye-Waboso.
Surprised to see Roygaard go, particularly with the amount of territory he was giving the All Blacks. Might miss that left foot of his.
I'm sorry, you were good, then you lost it. Use it! Take him back!
Mitchell's kick. Jordan. Waboso's tackle. Nicely timed. But then England conceding the penalty on the floor.
It's a little bit unfortunate there because he actually counteracts legally on Carter, but then bangs into the 9.
Ratimer to Leroy Carter. Chiefs winger. Back for the penalty.
Carter's now claiming that he's had taken a headshot from Faye-Waboso, but here's the kick. It's a really good chase. Manages to get there, Faye-Waboso, just times to tackle well, bounces back to his feet, and as Ben says, look, he's pushing Carter, but Carter almost throws him into the 9. You could argue it's just a little bit early, but I think Carter forces Faye-Waboso there into Ratimer.
10 meter, please. Okay.
New Zealand taking the tap. Savea running into the midriff of England's replacement hooker Cowan-Dickey. Parker picked to start to add a little bit more weight and physical directness. We will see Wallace Satiti soon enough, though, you'd imagine. Bowden Barrett. Jordan chasing hard.
By White.
Ford. Manoeuvring his body to get the ball back on the England side, and for Mitchell, Earl. Ben Earl, 17 carries now today.
Stop, please.
Hefty Kiwi counter-up, but remains
Let's go, 9.
England possession. Bowden Barrett, Leroy Carter. Here's Newell. Williams. Barrett gives it the big Wahe to find Jordan on that left wing. One of New Zealand's big focuses this week has been not losing focus in the way they did at Murrayfield this time last weekend when Scotland forced their way back into it. Just the way they played their way out of their own half, remained disciplined.
Interesting to see where Barrett was round the head of Cowan-Dickey there on the clear out. They're happy to go through those phases, Nick. You know, 10, 15, they don't mind just waiting for a gap or something like that to happen.
Carter off the outstretched hands of Marcus Smith. New Zealand still without their hooker, Cody Taylor, but with a position of promise here for them. Ratimer. Lakai continuing to drift left, but that was as far as it went.
Just on Austin's point about the number of phases there for New Zealand. Remember, they took the tap penalty in their own half, effectively, on the halfway line. They could have got the field position. I think they've said at half-time, we're not having enough phases. England's defence in the first few phases is really aggressive. I think they want to tire out those big England forwards and stop them coming off the line so hard, making those big shots. So they're happy to go through phase after phase after phase just to take the sting out of England and hope that in the last 20 minutes they'll be able to find some gaps.
That's Samisoni Takiaho coming on because we're about to have a scrum with Cody Taylor missing and New Zealand sacrificing Simon Parker.
You're playing the same game, yeah? So if you feel about playing crime, I mean, of course. If you believe I'm weak in something, just tell me. And you can speak directly to me, but not them, okay? I'll tell the boys not to come to you.
I'm wondering with the change in the back row, though, we've seen a lot of chop tackles. Underhill, arguably the best in the game in the chop tackle. So when you've got Parker, a big ball carrying, and he's sat down straight away, that's great, but you're not really trying to get any turnovers. I wonder when we see the other back rowers come on, Curry, Pollock, whether we see them over the ball a little bit more. asking them to play more phases, say, come on then, All Blacks, play more phases against me. And you'll see Curry over the ball a lot more, not doing the chop tackles as much, but throwing the guys to the ground.
What on earth would we do in a miserable grey November without afternoons like this?
Golf?
I'm happy enough where I am, to be honest, Oz.
Dinner party?
No.
Not with you.
Not with you, for sure.
You weren't invited, either of you.
England winning the penalty from the scrum. New Zealand some weight down. Ben Earl celebrating.
A big moment in the game. Two new front rowers on the field. England still got their British and Irish Lions front row to come. Well, a couple of them at least. In Genge and Stewart. And maybe one of the last big moments for Joe Hayes and Finn Baxter is to win that penalty.
Can see England's replacements down below just warming up. Ellis Genge, Tom Curry. Won't be long before we see them. Confirmation that the line out from an English perspective has been messy. Tidied up at the start of this second half though. Pepper and then Roebuck weaving his way through, and he finds Earl, and England through Ford will score, and Twickenham almost in disbelief.
Well, through the middle. It's Pepper off the back. The referee wants to have a look at something, just a bit of blocking maybe. But the line of Roebuck is superb.
I think there's a knock on, isn't there? They're going to look back and look whether Barrett gets his arm into the tackle.
Of course, I'll check it.
Read about this, if it's rigged by Black or if there is a knock on.
So we need to check if there is a clear read by Black or is a knock on by white. Your official decision is right because the ground used it. Okay, Marius, come upstairs.
Yes, Andrea.
So Luke Ramos who came in, and here's Marius again. So was it ripped or is it a knock-on?
Maro, that's why I'm checking. We just need to determine if it's a rip or is it a knock-on by England.
Yeah,
It's the pass to Ben Earl, isn't it? As they make the break, really good break from Roebuck. He gets his hand free, little pop-up. But does Earl take this in one motion, or is it Barrett that scoops it out? Here we go.
Something about it that didn't feel quite right. And that's the bit that didn't feel quite right, but was it illegal?
I think that's stripped, is it? If they're looking at whether it was stripped, it's definitely the hand of Barrett.
Look at the All Blacks, Nick, all trying to influence the officials by walking back out.
It actually doesn't go forward. It doesn't go forward because Barrett strips it towards England's goal line.
Let's have a listen. Have a listen.
Yes. Andrea, I would just like to take you back to the line out as well. There was an offside at the line out by England. So I'd just like us to clear that off first.
Yes, okay, perfect. So I speak to the captains and we will start with a penalty against England for offside. So no try, guys. Just a knock on by 8.
So the try has been scrubbed out. There was a question mark about whether England were offside at the line out as well.
The first touch is by 8 when he tried to read the ball. But that is a clear offside in the line out by White. So we'll start again with a penalty against your team.
Wow, that is a big turnaround, isn't it?
Offside from the line out. Offside from the line out, guys.
Well, the knock-on became irrelevant as soon as the penalty was awarded anyway.
Halfway line. Okay.
Jordan's kick, it's not his longest, but New Zealand will have the throw.
You need to retake it.
You've got to reset yourself, Nick, after that sort of disappointment.
It's worse for England. This is going to be given on the halfway line because it was the players off the back of the line out that were offside. So rather than where the line out was taken, they have to go to where England should have been stood.
Scott Robertson flanked by Scott Hansen to his right, Jason Holland to his left.
For the correct mark. Thank you. Go for the correct mark.
See if Jordan can make a slightly better connection here.
No.
However, All Black attacking line-out with Samisoni Takiaho. It's a big ball of energy to roll off the bench, that's for sure.
Rolls off the tongue as well, doesn't it?
Cortez Ratimer at the front of this. It was meant right for the tail. Savea. He shoves it almost towards the 22. Pepper, part of England's defensive line. Fletcher Newell. First time really in this second half that New Zealand have had the chance to play a few cards of their own. Here's Billy Proctor. Leroy Carter remains on this near right-hand side, but Ratimer's going to go the other way. In the middle of all that, Maro Itoje registered his 16th tackle. Barrett, Scott Barrett, the captain. Savea.
Just stumbled on his second foot placement there, Savea. He might have just got half through.
Looking away to that far left-hand side. Oh, and not quite. Quinn Tapia offered the threat.
The kick is absolutely on the money. One more step, he takes this. And I'm just thinking, Nick, after everything that England just been through, this is the perfect time to bring the bench on. You've had a little bit of negative energy. Things haven't quite gone your way. You know, you could have a lead now of 11 points. Equally, if he takes that, pops it inside, it could be 1 point down. So now, take control of the game, Steve Borthwick. Put those bench boys on and pick up the tempo again.
Yeah, they're all warming up down below us. Tom Curry, Henry Pollock, Ellis Genge closest to us, Will Stewart. And the crowd have seen them on the big screen. It's around now that they came on against the Wallabies. England scrum coach Tom Harrison licking his lips. Cody Taylor's yellow has expired. It looks as if New Zealand are going to bring on Wallace Atiti, so Takiaho will stay with us.
There would have just been a feeling from Piardi, the referee, that England stepped.
Reset.
But Hayes probably aware that he's not far off being replaced. Wants one big scrum, like the last one down in this area where England won the penalty.
Damien McKenzie coming on. Basilio Tossi as well. Hearing that New Zealand are going to take off Beauden Barrett. A winning 100th start against Scotland. World Rugby's most capped back, but maybe his minutes are numbered here. We will see.
They're already on the floor on the far side. New Zealand, I was going to say, if the referee doesn't reset it, they'll have to give a penalty against New Zealand, but would have been a bit harsh because Williams there already on flat on the floor when the ball came in.
Keep the feet under you, elbow up, okay? Otherwise it's 50-50, okay? Carry on. Back to the pictures, guys, please. And space on this side, there's no space, okay? Let's go. Time back on. Crouch! Bind! Set! Use! Ball out.
Mitchell. Eager to get the ball away. I think wisely held on to it.
Use it.
Pepper. Finding Underhill. Again, it's Savea over the ball. He thought he was on it. Piardi felt otherwise.
Yeah, he's right, Piardi. His hands are on the floor to begin with.
Jordan. Oh, that is expertly done under an awful lot of pressure.
All to do with how he fell. Roebuck there falls the right side with the ball on his side. That means England win the counter-up.
Ford, there's the kick. Feo Aboso sets off. Carter's the favourite by some distance. Indeed, the ball beats them all, but how about the kick?
Really good there. Just watching Alex Coles, who's going to call the line out, just telling everyone to be calm. 100% call here needed from England.
It's England ball, isn't it?
So, did you make the change?
New Zealand are making a change, and it is Mackenzie for Bowden Barrett.
Yes, but number 10 is coming on. Yeah.
Wallace Satiti coming on for Simon Parker at the end of the yellow card. Mitchell, England pressing. Lawrence, oh, that's lovely! And the try from Dingwall. And Twickenham blinking in disbelief. England running clear of the All Blacks.
Wow, it's brilliant from Lawrence. It's all about deception and his body shape. They will have worked on this. Look how he looks like he's tucking, head down and going himself, and then transfers with that little stutter step to his right foot, holds the outside defender and opens the door for Fraser Dingwall.
Dingwall's feet as well are sensational. He's almost going to overrun it, but he treads water for 2 steps, just allows himself enough time to go through that gap. That is such a well-worked first phase try. And also, Nick, a brilliant decision from Borthwick not to bring on the POM squad just before the line-out.
Well, so often it's Fraser the facilitator, gluing club and country midfield. Right now, it's Fraser the try scorer.
It's a really nice angle, that, because it shows how both centres start slightly wider and then just shift in one man. So they slide one defensive man ahead of them in front. That ends up running outside shoulder of the inside man. It's really good attacking play. Look at him. Think he enjoyed it?
England's new attack coach, Lee Blackett. Made at Wasps, made at Bath, scored at Twickenham. And more New Zealand changes. Quinta Paya is off. Anton Leonard-Brown comes on, and Fletcher Newell as well. And England have made all their changes. Oh, we're getting into the meat and potatoes of it now. What have New Zealand got? How much does this Northern Grand Slam matter to them? They've beaten Ireland, they've beaten Scotland, they are behind against England at Twickenham, and they have lost that 12-point lead that they established early on.
You talk about players, Nick. Mitchell's had a fabulous game, controlling the pace of the game now, but England have got this lead, 13 points. Spencer is a better defensive 9 than him, and he's good at closing out games, huge experience. The Northampton fans now saying that I'm biased against Northampton. I'm not. I just think if England want to go away, they want to have the best chance of winning this game against the All Blacks. And it might be the time to bring Spencer on.
Yeah, I just don't know you want to hang on. I think they brought all those subs on, so keep the foot on the accelerator.
He can still play tempo, Spencer.
Cody Taylor's back with us. Served his 10 minutes in the bin, taking his time with the line-out. He went to the front to Mighty Williams.
25 unanswered points for the All Blacks. They have to get something on the board here, you'd expect.
This is Tosi, coming towards the end of his 2nd season as an All Black. Henry Pollock working hard over the ball, but it's New Zealand ball, and 8-7. Lakai to Savia.
No! Advantage. Use the hands.
New Zealand penalty.
Sorry, 5.
Ratimer takes it on. Penalty going against Coles. Toe hold here for New Zealand.
5. Use his hands on your right.
Barrett. Then Lakai. There'll be no panic from New Zealand, but they'll know right where they are at the moment. Satiti, first big chug.
Advantage.
Lord.
Falling down.
Pollock again. England at the moment just hoping nothing more comes of this. Mackenzie will hope otherwise. Back we come.
You don't go anywhere.
Itoje gives away the penalty. Just wondered when the referee told him to release. whether he just stay in there. He's already given away the penalty.
5 England.
Referees have been hot though, haven't they, on players killing the ball after a penalty, giving a subsequent really professional foul. I think they've got to take the 3 points here, haven't they? They're going to tap and go though. Get 3 on the board.
Stay.
Oh, they've been so good at this. Cody Taylor gets them going. Lakai.
No hands.
Williams offering himself. Lays it back to Mackenzie. The man who saved New Zealand bacon at Murrayfield. Not here, not just yet anyway, and England might fancy it. Pollock dreaming of something spectacular. Roebuck with half of Twickenham in front of him, but plenty of black shirts as well. Lost forwards.
Lakai, sensational defence here. Unbelievable defence, because Pollock is rapid and he stays with him on the inside shoulder.
Ellis Genge's decision-making not to just go head first when he gets the turnover. Looks for the space. Just watch him as he picks it up, Ellis Genge now. A lot of front row forwards would have just carried straight, but no, where's the space? Gets the ball out. And then, as you said, really good defence. Nice little battle between Pollock and Lakai here. Pollock thinks that he's managed to block the number 8, or his opposite number, from getting out to that position, but Lakai just stays in the hunt, and then he's there as soon as the pass comes in, ready to make that hit.
Let's go. New Zealand, England. Crouch. Bind.
Do you think there might be a few more points in this, Nick, in the next 20 minutes?
Guys,
certainly rather be watching this than playing golf or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff sometimes to do our job, okay? If everyone is speaking.
Wasn't being serious, it was meant to be a joke, but you just wouldn't understand that, would you?
In the first half, now it's becoming a little bit of a mess, okay? Stability and space.
There's a smile flickering on the face of Will Stewart. Scored 2 tries here in the 25-all draw in 2022. 2019, that famous night in Yokohama, the World Cup, the last time England beat the All Blacks. 2012, the last time they beat them here in London. An hour gone.
Set and keep it up.
England with the shove. All Blacks concertinaed. Big problems for New Zealand right now.
Yeah, the pressure was on. Pollock almost forced Piardi into making the decision, because he actually breaks his bind before the ball comes out. And I think had it come out, Piardi might have given the All Blacks the benefit of the doubt. But there's that little snap drive. Ellis Genge's side just rotating. The All Blacks back row away. Pollock celebrating, England celebrating. Sure, that's not popular around the world, but England feeding off this energy at the moment.
England haven't driven any line out so far today. Really surprising. Scotland made quite a lot of ground against the All Blacks last week at the drive. I wonder if we see one here, although they've set up slightly differently again. Look at over the top to Lawrence, maybe.
The ball floated in by Luke Cowan-Dickie. There's nothing floaty about Ollie Lawrence.
Again, Genge on that decoy line in front. And another one.
It was Stewart on that occasion, but All Black possession. Lakai came away with it, and Proctor gives it the boot, and Smith, England's last line of defence. He'll look up and see a wall of black, and he takes them on, and Carter worked really hard over the top and does brilliantly.
Just Faye Waboso runs away from Smith. He's a little bit slow to get on his bike, Faye Waboso, and get back at the start of that kick chase.
I think Smith does pretty well. He gets past the tackle. I'd love to see whether Carter actually gets his hands on the ball here. It's okay being in the ruck and winning the space in the ruck, but you have to be competing for the ball. I mean, what a turnaround from the offload from Curry. They go the length. He does really well, I think, because he bides a little bit time. He doesn't go straight in. A little hitch kick. Like you said, Faye Waboso could be closer. Dingwall does well. Has he got his hands on the ball?
No, he hides it though, Smith, doesn't he? He gets back to his knees and hides it under his body. If you go into that squeeze position, you don't have to show that you're lifting the ball. You just have to wrap round the torso to get rewarded from the ref. Good call.
This feels big. Cody Taylor, the All Blacks looking for some momentum. It's been lost. Desperately seeking momentum. It's not happening for them at the moment.
Down, touch the man, and then once
it's that one-handed leap. He's already coming down, isn't he? It's Maro Itoje's hand that gets in there. You can see Scott Barrett appealing to the referee. Just watch Itoje's hand comes in there.
Marius, was this touched by the England player over there?
And the referee's just seen that replay on the big screen. Yeah. He might reverse this.
Which is offside then. Yeah. 5 on the other side, offside with the hand.
England conceding the penalty. Alex Coles.
Offside.
So
player still in the air.
New Zealand with a reprieve. They'll get another go.
Number 4. Number 4. Sorry, mate.
There's a Maro Itoje, not Alex Coles. That will explain the quizzical look. Second go. Time to nail it, you would have thought, and they did. Barrett. Cody Taylor rolls around, he knows his way to the try line. Another try, and he will be New Zealand's record try-scoring hooker. Another penalty conceded by England, swept up by Feo Aboso, and it's going to be a yellow.
Pepper.
6, 8.
It was
on the side.
It's actually better.
It was actually moving towards the try line, which is why the referee has brandished the yellow.
Yes.
Where are we in this contest? England now a man down and New Zealand pressing.
Yeah, it doesn't come through the side because I think that's Josh Lord who's there. He goes in between the two.
That's not a good decision.
Stay there.
Well, it's the decision.
It is.
And England have got to ride it. And New Zealand, once again, with some momentum offering itself. Josh Lord brings it down.
Going backwards,
again, it's Taylor seeking perhaps the record, but much more importantly in the context of this match, a try to bring them right back in it. Very nearly there. Ratimer gives it some space. Tosi not far away. Got a score here. Mackenzie to Jordan. The All Blacks still very much in this contest.
Smart try from the All Blacks. Really well worked and patient. Feo Aboso switches off a little bit in that guard position on the side of the ball, and when Cody Taylor breaks off, he wins that collision, takes out 3 white shirts. That's what creates the eventual overlap. One more phase, and then England just can't get the numbers around the corner. They get picked off. Really good line, isn't it? Hard and fast against a drifting passing player, and that disconnect for the defender, impossible to mark. Jordan runs that line so well.
It's really difficult for Rowe, but you see Curry comes into position, just gets there fractionally late, so you can't get one man extra out. If you are there, then you can blitz forward onto Mackenzie. This guy is an unbelievably good rugby player, isn't he, Jordan? And a sharp by the looks of it as well.
First New Zealand score in 48 minutes.
As they often do, walking back, taking all the time they can just to try and take the sting out of the New Zealand side that have just rediscovered their momentum.
Sam Darry on for Josh Lord. Cody Taylor finally gives way permanently to Sami Soni Takiaho. Little over 15 minutes left here, and this is going to be epic, you sense. England with a 6-point lead.
But 8 minutes with a man in the bin, crucial.
Will Jordan's 45th try, by the way, in Test rugby, draws him alongside Bowden Barrett. Now, both of them closing in on Doug Howlett's record, 49.
9.
Cowan Dickey, who scored tries for England over the opening 2 weekends. Could do with one now. That's not a good start. Not straight. New Zealand were challenging. New Zealand ball.
Here comes the scrum though, Nick. That's why he's smiling. He knows they've got a chance to get it turned back.
Of course, Maro. Otherwise, play on.
I think that this is maybe Cole's just drifting slightly into the line. If you do that and you have to compete, it just makes it look worse from the referee at the back of the line out. Just drifts over the line slightly. Certainly, Cowan Dickey will say, oh, that was a close one.
Yep, thank you.
Let's go down to our scrum doctor, David Flatman. What are you seeing, David?
I don't know about doctor, certainly a keynote. Really enjoyed the last few England scrums. The message when they came on was, look, New Zealand under pressure, admittedly a man down. Under pressure, they're trying to take it down. Don't let them go low. Do not let them get as close to the ground as they want to be. Keep them up, make them scrummage. Now with Bernal sitting just behind me on the naughty chair, England are a man down. Can they make a statement? Yes, they're a man down, but they do not have a ball to worry about. They're going for them. It all looks messy. Penalty New Zealand. Bit of redemption, maybe.
Yeah, not quite shades of Wellington all those years ago, and New Zealand trying to cotton on by Fanganuku and Jordan, but no.
Again, Williams goes to floor here.
It's the wrong way.
And it didn't look like he was lowered to fall. The call must have come from the far side. Referee's assistant.
And lost his bind.
The referee's assistant saying there that Ellis Genge loses his bind. Tries to disguise it by keeping it in and around the body, but
well, England starting to ship a few penalties. New Zealand taking steps very much back into this contest. Darry, Mackenzie, and then Anton Leonard-Brown. Haven't seen much of him so far in 2025. He's got a big part to play as we near the end of it. It's the work over the ball of Henry Pollock and co.
It's the tackle of Fraser Dingwall. He's actually injured himself in the tackle. But the quality of this tackle creates the opportunity. Chop tackle, nice and low, and that allows Pollock, who does really well to bide his time. Leonard-Brown goes off his feet, which is why Pollock gets rewarded.
Big kick this, Nick. Do you go safe and knock it out on the 22, or do you try and get 10 metres out from the try line?
Keep it there.
It was a question.
I'm waiting for the answer.
He's gone for the latter.
It's safe England ball on the 22. Little over 4 minutes left on the Bernal yellow.
The next question is, do England have that drive, or do they continue using Lawrence off the back of one of these lineouts? It's been successful for them, but do they want to now just go to the drive and tighten things up slightly? They need to win the ball first.
Oh, it's great work aerially from Satiti. The athleticism, and Mackenzie now at 10 and driving New Zealand forwards and Roebuck backwards. What do these final 10 minutes in southwest London have in store for us? Ford with Smith and Mitchell offering support. Mackenzie. How good is Mackenzie? What riches New Zealand have to be able to bring him off the bench. Oh, and then
I didn't see, guys. I was turning my back.
Takiaho wheelbarrowing up to the halfway. Ratimer, debut in the win against England at Eden Park last year. Taken in the air. Importantly, England penalty.
Now time is off, guys, because I'm quite upset about you. Stop.
Just overruns it. It's not particularly impactful tackle, but he certainly got his hands on the ball first.
Guys, it's not the phone, is it?
Hands on the player before he lands.
Yes, he's checking the no-arms by the white player. Okay?
Leicester Fanganuku, who scored All Blacks opening try after 14 minutes. Cody Taylor, the second, 3 minutes later.
Can you listen to this conversation between us, guys?
Since then, it's been one of a story of England fight back, and then Will Jordan coming in.
Without any conversation.
Austin, who's on your shortlist for player of the match?
What a game, Nick. You could have picked anyone at 30, to be honest, but I think Ben Earl's carried very well. Top carrier for England. Ford, obviously, the drop goals, given the control. Lawrence with the try and setting up another. It's got to be right up there. And for the All Blacks, Lakai has been absolutely brilliant, carrying, defending all over. And likewise for Jordan. His ability to hit the line, make opportunities and create and score tries is second to none around the world at the minute. It's going to be a difficult one. Who's your favourite out of those five?
I think Lawrence. I think he's probably, I know Ford's drop goal and the way he's managed the game, but I think Lawrence has been England's biggest threat in midfield.
Well, that's just ruled him out.
Jordan up there as well, but there still might be a big intervention from someone else before the end of this game.
I've loved Lakai's carrying, 19 carries, 96 metres. He's been perhaps the man to give New Zealand ball on the front foot.
Yeah. Ben Earl, 19 carries, 103 metres.
Just emphasising, well, it's just emphasising the quality of the match, isn't it? Yeah, it's fabulous. 2.5 minutes to go on the Earl yellow. England in New Zealand's half. And Atoje off a line out that has been a challenge for England today.
Genge spills 2 All Blacks out of that maul and then re-enters before they can get back.
It's always part of the maul.
New Zealand have got to be careful not to concede a penalty here. Roebuck with his eyes under the ball. He knocked it on.
Knock on by White, knock on by Black.
He just jumps a little bit early, Nick, and gets past the ball. He knows it. He can't defy gravity. The kick's actually really good, but look, he jumps early to win the space, but then the ball lands a little bit too long arm for him to take it. McKenzie gets some good height as well, doesn't he, there?
Time off. 9.
He feels he should have done better there, doesn't he?
England are changing their scrum half. Here comes Ben Spencer, one of those who drove his club back to the Premiership title here in June, replacing Alex Mitchell.
Close with your feet, okay? Close with your feet, okay? No double extending, and you need to keep the ball, okay? So work out both of you guys. Here we go.
Massive scrum here for the All Blacks, though, on their own line. You know that Ellis Genge is going to try and get his shoulder up against Tosi on that side. Just try and make it harder for that combination at the back of Lakai and Ratimer to get out of that coffin corner. Really good shove from Bosi originally.
Oh, Ratimer under a lot of pressure. Pollard has done a job on him. Ratimer doing well to get that back on the right side. McKenzie, the calming influence. So too Wallace Satiti. Some unit to have coming off the bench.
Stop, Maro, stop. Use that.
England trying to suffocate New Zealand that close to their own try line. How good is the clearing kick from Ratimer?
I think it's a lucky escape, Nick, for Pollard, because the ball's not out of the scrum and he breaks his bind. Look, ball's still in the scrum, still in the scrum. He sees the turn, he's broken his bind, it's still in there. That should have been a penalty to the All Blacks. He got away with one there. He's so eager and keen, isn't he? I don't know why he's getting a bad rap. I absolutely love him. I think he's brilliant.
4 guys, 4 in the
England's blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy.
Let's go.
Staring at black for the first time in his career. It might be a few tests by the end of it. He's still only 20. And England, with a little over 6 minutes to go, shortening the attacking line out. Oh, it's very nearly Satiti again. Instead, it was Tom Curry. England have a penalty. Could be a huge moment. And you're tempted to think that George Ford might fancy this.
He's got to take it out to more than one score if there's any team in World Rugby that can go the length and score a 7-pointer. It's the All Blacks. They will get Ben Earl back onto the field now, but surely George Ford points to the sticks here.
Could be redemption as well, couldn't it, Nick? Hitting the post, missed drop goal last time out. Is this the redemption that he's looking for?
It was actually Maro Itoje that felt he got taken out. It goes against Satiti for going through the line out rather than the contact in the air.
Oh, the pain, the frustration on the face of Scott Barrett.
It's Curry that stayed down from that line-out incident.
Well, there'll be Sale fans up and down the land looking at this with some concern. Only his third game since the Lions tour, recovering from the wrist surgery. He's a walking textbook on rugby injuries, Tom Curry, and he's down for the time being. England still have Chandler Cunningham-Sal as an option off the bench.
Yeah, I think if the RFU were going to bring back that board game operation, they'd use his body, wouldn't they?
Game for the funny bone. He's had a brilliant season. Sam Darry for Canterbury in the MPC, the New Zealand Provincial Championship, drawn into the 23 late on for Fabian Holland, and doing what he can here, and the 60 seconds starts now. And a man who had a couple of opportunities late on 12 months ago to swing the game England's way, with this chance to swing the game England's way, maybe win it for England. A little over 5 minutes left. Straight and true, and George Ford, an England great, has arms in the air, and England with the insurance now of a 9-point lead against the All Blacks.
This exit is so important for Steve Borthwick now. Don't give New Zealand an immediate chance just to chip back away at that lead. Everyone needs to switch on. It's one to compete for.
Oh, and it's Dingwall, one of the smaller blokes who was hoisted highest. Itoje, all that he achieved with the Lions over the summer. But it's the ambition of winning a World Cup with England that burns most in his belly. And this would send a signal, this would send a signal. Spencer's clearing kick onto the head of Carter. He's chased down by Curry. What a game Peter Lakai has had. Never stopped. Takiaho, 20 carries now for Lakai. Laid back by Tosi. Jordan. We need some All Black brilliance now, and we need it quick.
Good. Well done.
Happy to go through their phases. You sort of think they need a bit of field position. Clock keeps ticking.
Loose ball. Pollock's on it. Pollock can finish it here. England can finish it. Rover! All over for the All Blacks. It will be a white night in London.
Henry Pollock, a lot of stuff been written about him over the last year, but one thing he is exceptional at is being the first to that loose ball on the floor. He gets his boot in. Almost looks as though New Zealand have got it covered, but he gets his foot there. That ball out the back reacts the quickest. McKenzie should have had that. Pollock had no right to get the foot in there. And then the control's good enough from Robert. Really nice pickup under pressure. Pollock just runs that blocking line, making sure he's going to get all the way untouched, slide in and win the game.
I was thinking just before that McKenzie might be the best impact player in the world, but I've changed my mind. I think Pollock is. He plays so far on the ball, he's in front of everyone, he anticipates play, and he creates a try out of absolutely nothing. You look how far in front of the defensive line he is and how quickly he reacts to this. Bounces off his knees. Big things happen for big players. This kid is a big-time player. And I think he enjoyed it.
Northern Lights at Twickenham. And the Grand Slam has gone for New Zealand. The early 12-0 lead for the Blacks. But how England have engineered their way back into this contest and now finished this contest.
England will want that ball back. Time off. Desperate to get that ball back. Yes, the game's done now. But they would love to finish in control of the ball, try and force that extra try, and on comes Cunningham South.
13. Subs.
Actually, Pollock is going to go in the centre, and Ollie Lawrence is going to lead the field.
He's had a brilliant game. And he started the English fight back with the try midway through the first half. Darry, Ratimer, McKenzie, Proctor. Just digging for scraps now, New Zealand. They will head to Cardiff, hoping to make it 3 wins out of 4 from this Northern Tour. It will not be 4 from 4.
You're good. He needs to roll away quicker.
Ratimer gets on with it. Satiti. How about that? All that work down at the Lensbury Club during the week, off the floor. Leonard Brown. All of his guile. McKenzie. Jordan, no way through. England busy all afternoon, thumping back black shirts.
Right offside.
Carter with the advantage. England over-eager in defence.
Okay.
30 seconds to go.
Advantage. Jekyll is good there. We come back. I give you the... No, wait. Number 12 offside. And good Jekyll over there.
Time up. The roar around this place tells you there's still time for maybe one last roar of New Zealand defiance.
Please, 5. Thank you.
But this has been an England performance full of promise. A day when they put a lot of it together, and a day when they have seen off the All Blacks. An All Black Grand Slam drifts away into the dark London night, and England open the history books. Get this result in it, and put a big line under 2025. They don't do it often, but England have just beaten New Zealand. Final score: England 33, New Zealand 19.